Hey Todd, I was wondering if we could bug you to just go over the eight young men you drafted the last couple days. Give us your brief thoughts on them.
Sure, Ryan, I'll go through it right from the start. So I know you talked to Brad last night about Matt Coronado. I'm really happy about him. It was one of those picks where the need intersected with the best player on our list, and that worked out well. Skilled right winger, scores in a variety of ways. He's not one-dimensional. He can make plays on the move. He has a good 200-foot game that's going to get developed more as he matures and goes to college. But we got him for his offense and the different ways he can create and the different ways he can finish. Next guy we took was a guy we had liked all year. He played in Modo, Sweden, William Stromgren. He's a tall, lanky left wing. He was a key part. When we talk about the draft this year and the pandemic and how hard it is, he's a guy that we were able to track early and watch his progression. And he comes from a small town, and he wasn't experienced at higher levels of hockey. So we watched that progress this year right in person as we're watching him and watching him on video. So he goes from a small town, Modo in a lower league, and then at the end of the year, he's playing with his peers at the under 18 in Dallas, Texas. So that was pretty neat to watch. He's got a lot of raw ability. So we just got to get him the necessary experiences where he can learn when to use his skill instead of, I know he's a dynamic personality. Like he wants to use his skill all the time. So he just got to learn through experience and playing at higher levels that, you can't beat guys 1-on-2 all the time, but he's got reach. He's got vision. He's a really good skater. He's got quick feet. You just got to gain experience and go through the necessary physical development. And he's in a good spot next year. He's going to hopefully take a spot on the Rogla SHL team. But we're really excited about getting a guy with his talent in the second round. The next guy we took was Cole Huckins, and this is probably the area of the draft where we started to really rely on area scouts and guys with a lot of viewings. Cole was a high pick in the Quebec Major Junior League draft. Our two main Quebec guys, Fred Parker and Patrick Lachance, saw him a lot. Fred knows him from when he was younger, and Patrick saw him a lot. He's a big, rangy left wing. He's got work to do on his mobility, but he can skate in straight lines. He's got a really good reach. He's good at protecting pucks. We see him as a left wing, although I know he's played a little bit of center. And he's got a mean streak, and he can complement skilled players by going to the net and creating space and then finish in and around the net. Next pick, we went back to the Quebec League. Cameron Wynot, just what I would call probably a today type defenseman. He's mobile. He moves pucks. He can carry the puck up the ice. He's another kid that's physically a little bit underdeveloped, so he's got to put some weight on and some strength, which is going to help his defending game. He's a pretty good defender as far as contain, but when he needs to be assertive and be more physical, that's the part where he's going to develop his game as he gains more strength and develops physically. Then we took a kid that, again, I can't reiterate or talk enough about our area scouts and how important they were to this whole process. The WHL played 24 games, so we were on our Western League scouts. Were on Cole Jordan and those two bubbles as soon as they could in Canada. Darren Kruger, loved this kid, watched him a lot in Moose Jaw. He's the kid, he said, even though he's a late birthday, he's really come since his 16-year-old year. He's a little bit bigger than I think he's listed. They get the right height here. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He's a really good skater. He's a first pass, more of a defender type. Krugs doesn't think he's going to be run a power play anytime soon, but he thinks he's got some potential to improve his offensive game and add a little bit more in the offensive zone. Again, before the draft started, I talked a lot about trying to find guys that people didn't know or your area scouts knew a lot of. The next guy fits in this bill, Jack Beck. He didn't play any games this year. He did some training, a lot of training. He's grown a bit. We have him as a winger center. He can play. He's a kind of versatile. They were on a pretty good team last year as a underage, so he didn't get to play his position growing up as a center, but so they moved him around the lineup. He's a scrappy kid. He's more of a playmaking / vision type guy. Again, trust in Terry. Terry's done a good job for us. Fred Parker's done a good job for us in Ottawa. So you rely on those guys in this situation. So we think we got a real good one here, even though we didn't get to see him play. Then you go back to the West. We got a kid that's big, powerful winger. Again, underrated physical skill. He's not going to beat guys off the rush that much, but what he's going to do is get to the net, create space for the skill guys, and then get some pucks in the net from in and around the hard areas. You watch the playoffs, you see those guys have a lot of success. They help create room for smaller guys, and he's got enough ability to score when it matters and into the trench areas. And then Arseny Sergeyev, a goaltender from the North American League Shreveport. We heard about him. We watched him on a lot of tape. Central Scouting had him ranked. And then when we were at the under-18s in Texas, they were playing in Shreveport, and they actually played a game on the road in Texas. So we had Thomas Spear there. So he went and watched him live. So he's the guy we started tracking. They went to the finals in the North American League. Jordan Siglet then followed up, watched a lot of video on him. And he's a little bit raw, but he's got another year. He's going to go play in Tri-City of the USHL next year, and then he's going to UConn. So we figure get a guy like this in the pipeline and see where he is in 4 or 5 years. We think we've done that. We got Dustin Wolf and Chechlev that we drafted last year. So we think we got some guys that are going to pop at different times, but we really thought the goalie guys made this pick. They really liked the potential and the path that he was going to take.
And just a quick follow-up, as your picks were coming in, I got some texts from scouting friends of mine who observed that it seemed like a lot of the guys that you picked, especially early on, your skaters, were sort of guys that are skilled in puck transition. Is that something that you guys targeted or added to the attributes you're normally looking for this year?
No, it's all part of the process. We're looking for skilled guys always. The more skill you can have, the better, especially the higher you get in the draft. In the past, we've taken a lot of smaller skilled players at the end of the draft, and there wasn't as many there. And I think part of that is that too much video, right? You don't get to see the skill as much as you would if you're in their life. But no, it's all part of the process, Ryan. I think it's part of our evaluation. It worked out that way, but I don't think we didn't target that in any specific way.
Okay, we'll go to Danny Austin next. Danny, you're muted.
Sorry. You mentioned the area scouting a couple times, and you guys did only ultimately take one player from the OHL. Was seeing guys actually play this year, did that just kind of give you a little more confidence in them as you went to make the picks?
Yeah, we only made, for sure it did. So the answer to that question is yes, but we only made one pick, but we knew a lot of the OHL guys. So we had a lot of guys that were on our list that we felt, and that's what I said at the starter before the draft, like we're going to make some hay here. But obviously there's other teams that have the same idea, right? So they know those guys as well. So I believe that when you watch a guy live, you have a lot more, you can see a lot more. You can see his presence on the ice. You can see how rangy he is, how much ice he can cover. But we knew what it was going in. So we watched Terry Dorn and myself and Fred Parker. We watched a lot of video from their underage years. The guys who were at under 17s, you could watch those games. And then it is a bigger projection. But overall, it is what it is. But there was a lot of guys in the OHL that we liked that, they're on our list, and we crossed them off because other teams took them.
You guys drafted sort of 5 forwards, 2 defensemen, a goalie. Not that that's in any way unusual, but was sort of restocking the cupboard with forwards a priority here today?
No, I mean, last year before the draft, everybody was asking about defensemen, right? So now it's forwards. So no, we went right by the list. And I think in a normal year, you might have a bigger list because you have more crossover viewings, more scouts, see more guys. But in this case, like I said, we had to rely on those area scouts a little sooner than normal. And we always rely on them, but in this case, we didn't see everybody live on our list as normally as we would.